got any questions before we get started? None. All right, let's bow our heads for a prayer and let's get started. Lord, thank you for this day that we received today. Let everybody in this class and everybody that's coming to present, everybody that helped to put this thing together, may they have a wonderful and blessed experience. Hopefully the experience is blessed enough that they reach out and tell someone else to say, hey, let's go down to Bethany and really help make this something successful. I see they're on to something. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right. My name is Quintus Hill. I've been working with UPS for coming on 11 years. I look fairly young. I started when I was 20. Started when I was actually 19, turning 20. But they got my seniority by 20, so I'm going to go with 10 years. I started in Beaumont, Texas. I was still in college at the time that I started at UPS. As I progressed from being a package handler, which is basically the person that takes the package, puts it on the truck, to becoming what I am now is a driver, which takes the packages off the truck, brings your laptops, your clothes, your tissue, your medication, your subpoenas to court, your toys, Christmas trees, Christmas presents, Christmas lights, snow, dry ice. We bring it all. Fish. We bring it all. I started with the company, and all I thought I wanted to do was just do package handling. Just enough money to get by, to get to something else. At the time, I had 2 jobs. I was working at Dillard's, and I was working at UPS. I was working UPS in the morning, which was 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. So I had to be up at least by 3 to make sure I was at work on time. That's in the rain, sleet, snow, didn't matter. Because at least if the trucks didn't pull out, we at least had to sort the packages. So even if the center might not run, they still wanted the preloaders or the offloaders to come to work. So I was working that in the morning, got off around 10-ish, from 10 to probably like 1 o'clock. I would be napping, doing my daily, whether it's trying to get something to eat, whether it's talking with friends, doing all that in between. Then, by 1, I was at Dillard's to close. So that was 1 to 9. 1 to 9. And then, sometimes during the Christmas season, it was 1 to 10. So I was closing in. And I really thought that Dillard's was going to be my way. Because Dillard's was paying me the most money. I'll tell y'all little tips right here. Back then, as a preloader, I was making like $9, like $9.30. And I was only working part-time, so that's only like 25 hours, maybe 30, That's if everything is really flowing. Dillard's, I was making like 12. I was working kind of a full-time shift, and I was making more money, so I felt like, hey, I'm going to flow more towards this career because I don't have to go outside, and I'm in the mall, I'm around all the new stuff, and at this time, Dillard's was the place to be. It ain't that way now, but it was like that back in the day. Long story short, I got fired from Dillard's. Not doing anything crazy, nothing, like that. It's just, when you're dealing with a job like that, a job like that, their thing is the turnaround. Because when you're at a job for so long, you start learning things. You start learning what works and what don't work. What's supposed to happen and what doesn't supposed to happen. And when that happens, those people want to get you out of that building. Because now you're informing the new hires on how things run. And when you informing the new hires how things run, then they're getting a little more combative with their managers. Because they're going to say, oh, you're not making Quintus do that. Oh, you're not making Mr. Hill do that. oh, you're not letting him do that, so why I gotta do it? And once that starts, then they looking for the first opportunity to get you out. They got me out by sales. Sales. I was working in the men's department, working with jeans. They fired me in the summer, so it was like July, probably around June. It was right after Father's Day, which is really the only time we really sell. Because coming in, men only buy on their birthday and on Christmas. That's the only time they go shopping. So it's really hard to achieve those goals. But they set that money out in front of you that you gotta take it. You gotta take that chance. I was making it by getting credit sales, which is getting people to sign up for credit cards. So I would try to sell as many credit cards as I could because that helps the company in another way, not just on the sales floor. So that's what kept me around as long as I did. But I got fired. I was almost dead broke homeless, but I was still going to UPS. Because UPS was the only job that wouldn't fire me for two reasons. As long as you wasn't stealing and you wasn't late. That's the only two reasons they wouldn't fire you. You could put the wrong package on every truck, but they're not going to fire you. Because the amount of work that it takes to do this job, most people can't handle it. Most people will give up on it. But I'm saying that to say that through the perseverance, through getting with some partners, some people that been on the job, people that was seeing that, hey, this guy's really trying to do something. Let me tell him some information. Same thing I was doing at Dillard's. Telling him, hey, you don't have to work on the floor this amount of time. You deserve a break at this time. People was telling me, hey man, get in the union. Everybody heard of a union? Nobody heard of a union? Okay. Adults heard of a union. And see how they nod their head like, yeah, you're a part of that. Because that union fights for you. Like how I got fired from Dillard's, that can't happen to me at UPS. No way, no how. Just how you hear on the news right now about a union strike with the railroad, it's the same thing. They tie in together to help push that product out. And they fight together with you. So if you getting done wrong, then we all getting done wrong. If they not letting you work, then we all not working. That's how the union basically works. Everybody understand that? All right. Anybody got any questions for me? No questions?
I have a question. Did you start off seasonal or part-time?
I started off part-time, full part-time. I got all the benefits as a part-time employee. But I do know stories of people that started seasonal, went from seasonal to part-time, part-time to full-time. That does happen a lot. You just got to show that you want it. And most people don't like getting up. Most people don't have the discipline to say, hey, I know I got to do this tomorrow. I'm going to prepare today. Just like y'all had these posters and boards to do today, y'all didn't wait. Most of you didn't wait till today. Y'all at least prepared yesterday, right?
Yep.
Y'all at least put some time on the paper yesterday, right? Okay? That's what all we've been talking about in class was about preparation, reputation, and how to conduct an interview. That's all we've been talking about. When we was talking about David and Goliath, some people Goliath is bills. Some people Goliath is discipline. They hear it coming down the mountain and they don't want to come out. They want to stay in there with Saul and say, hey, it's easier in here to get somebody else to do it. Some people, when Goliath come, that bill come in the mail, some people see the bill, just put it down, act like it don't exist. Walk by it 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 times. Because they don't want to do the discipline. But I'm here, just like y'all here. Hopefully you the David in your family. And I'm coming to that Goliath, that bill, and say, it's not a problem. I can handle it. And right now, at this time, I get a lot of looks of, you going to Sunday school, bro? You teaching Sunday school, bro? Yeah, I'm teaching Sunday school. And I'm not trying to boast about it or brag about it. I'm trying to say, hey, I'm trying to do something different. Something to reach the people I'm trying to reach. And I'm not trying to bash you over the head with the Bible or bash you over the head like a holy roller, because I'm none of them things. I'm a real life person. I got a wife, you know what I'm saying? No kids, but a wife. So I understand, you know what I'm saying, relationships. I understand the pressures. I understand being a kid. I understand coming here. Because we was talking about it yesterday. Like, man, how many people you think don't show? I don't know. I was just hoping that enough would show that next year and the year after that, people say, hey, I want to be a part of that. Hey, what they were doing was, it wasn't what I thought it was, but it's something that I need to be a part of. And y'all making that happen. And again, I clap for that. You know what I'm saying? From where we started to where we are now, I feel a whole lot better. A whole lot better. Even though where we started from, we had to start from that. You know, a lot of people say getting it out the mud, but don't really know what it means to get it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? Some people sit on their behind, wait for the check to come in. Some people don't want to get up and make it happen. Y'all doing these boards, y'all made it happen. Y'all probably didn't have the resources that I had to do my board, but y'all still did a board nonetheless. So, like I said, be proud of yourself for that. It might not be nothing right now, but trust me, everybody in here that's an adult is looking at your board and looking at you and thinking to themselves, how can they help you do what you're trying to do? And that's the one thing I used to hear. And this gentleman right here, I didn't even know that we went to school together. I didn't even know we went to school together. But I'm pretty sure he can attest to the same thing I'm going to tell you. A lot of people that was in my class, grew up with me, the first thing they say when they say they didn't achieve what they want, they say they didn't have the support. Did nobody support what they had? Did nobody give me a chance to do what I wanted to do? I wanted to do this, but nobody got behind me. So hopefully you really took this. It's an assignment, it's work, but you took it more to, hey, this is my chance to let my parents really know what I really want to do. You might have been telling your mom and dad, hey, I want to do doctor, lawyer, to please them, to please their mind, to make sure that they focus on what you want to do, but you really want to be a choreographer. You really want to be a dancer. You really want to be, you know, lacrosse. You really want to play baseball. You really want to be a drum major. You really want to be a drummer. This was your opportunity to tell your mom and your dads right now, this is what I want to do. Because that's the only way you're going to get to it. Because you got to start right now. You have to. Just a little stuff. It ain't got to be you out working 10 days a week. No, none of that. Just little things. Putting you in the same environment with the same people that's thinking like you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of taking you to, let's say, football practice, maybe I should be taking you to band. Maybe I should be taking you to music class. Maybe I should be taking you to the museum. Maybe I should be taking you to art lessons. This is that opportunity. Okay? All right. And the people that did not do a board but want to do a board, tomorrow in Sunday school I will give out boards for people that want to do one to achieve their achievement. Okay? All right. We're going to go ahead and start with our next presentation.
Mr. Hill, can you actually say what you went to school for?
In high school or in college? In college,
what did we pay for you to go to school to do? It wasn't.
If y'all didn't know, that is my mother. She paid for me to go to school to do communications. That was my major. I had a minor in psychology, and which is crazy for what I do now. And the stuff that I found more interesting is in that field. And maybe if I wasn't so focused on other things, I ain't gonna say what I want to say, but other things, I might have took my education process more serious. You know, now by the grace of God, everything balanced out to where I didn't necessarily need the piece of paper that other people need, but at the same time, when I think about it, I wasted a lot of time doing the same thing that I could have already been doing. Okay.
Would
Yes,
you
Ms.
let
Scott?
your mother know that you are working on your communication? You are communicating.
Exactly. Exactly.
Tell her. It's okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Go ahead.
ma'am.
You say it.
You got any more questions? No, no, yes, maybe so, no.
So, I'm Trey G. I work with K104. Y'all may have heard me in the mornings. I do traffic. Not only do I do traffic, I also work with Dee Dee and the crew. So y'all might have heard me tell Do you? Who you laugh at the most of? Oh, okay.
No, it's definitely what's his JJ.
JJ. I was about to say, Dee Dee funnier than JJ?
No.
No? Okay, I'm gonna tell her that. She gonna love it. Now she gonna love it. You got a question?
Oh, you go.
You can ask me. I'll get into my story in a minute. Go ahead.
How'd you come here?
Oh, so Kim actually invited me. Y'all good up. So look, I just came up here to say a few words. I won't keep y'all too long, but I just want everybody to know whatever you want to be in life, you can be there. You know what I'm saying? Start off by that. You got a question? Don't be shy. You got a question? All right. Well, save it to the end. I'm going to ask you again, okay? Save it to the end. So anything you can be in life, you can be there. You know what I'm saying? My story was similar to Q's. It's funny because we actually went to elementary school together. And I would not have known that had Miss Kim not reached out to me due to her following me from the radio station. You know what I'm saying? You never know where you're going to end up at in life. Never let anybody tell y'all can't do something. I went through so much trying to get on that K104. I'm talking about filling out job applications, going up there, people telling me that's not a career that you need to be in, that's not something you need to do. That's not nothing that I was listening to or trying to hear when I was trying to get on that K104. You see what I'm saying? So you always got to be solid in your mental and let everything else just fall by the wayside. If you have a dream, if you have something that you want to do, I don't care what it is. As long as it's positive, mash the gas and go full force with it. All right? Let me hear everybody say full force one time. There you go. Say it loud one more time. There you go. Mash the gas, go full force on it, okay? I do traffic. I work with Mr. Hit That. Anybody know Mr. Hit That? Yeah. Mr. Hit That, yeah. Mr. Hit That, David Spain. We do a Saturday night show as well, too. So don't never let nobody tell y'all can't do something. All right? Whatever y'all want to do, apply yourself, put your mind to it, and go full force. All right? Let's go. I'm going to get her question, I'm going to get yours. That's cool? That's cool? All right, there you go. Yes, ma'am. No, I'm not friends. I'm not friends. I come from Pleasant Grove. So I grew up in Dallas. I went to Local Ski High School. Me and Q went to elementary school together at Julius Dorsey. I'm not famous. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to get my little man first. I've been at K104 for 6 years. 6 years. I started out at 106.1. Anybody know 106.1? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. Okay. 106.1, I started out there, and then I worked my way from promotion all the way to on air. So now I do on air with them. 6 years. You got a question? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was gonna kind of similar. I was gonna say you said you went through a lot to get to working on K104.
Yes, ma'am.
How long did it take before you actually got started there?
It was a while. It was a little while. I say it probably was at least 4 or 5 years. I used to basically, so what would happen was I got on that K104 and I was working 2 jobs, kind of like you. I would go to my second job and I would sleep in the back of the store. So I would sleep in my car. And this is dedication and commitment, y'all. It takes dedication and commitment for whatever you want to do. Yeah. I would go to one job, sleep in the back of the store, and then I would go to K104 later on that night, in the evening time. I go to K104, do some stuff up there, and then I go back to the job. I go back to the house, and then I sleep a little bit, go back to the job, sleep in the back, and then go to work, go to K104. It's just a grind. It's just a cycle. You know what I mean? So it probably took me about, I'd say, 4 or 5 years of doing some of that kind of stuff, and then I finally got an opportunity. And when I got my opportunity, I was prepared. Preparation is everything. I don't care how long it takes you. Always be preparing. Okay? Always be preparing, because you never know when the opportunity is going to come. Yes, ma'am.
You touched on from South Dallas.
Yes, ma'am. Southeast Dallas.
Southeast Dallas.
Southeast Dallas.
And the thing about it is that no matter where you're from, is that you apply, because kids these days think that if you come from where you're from, West Dallas or whatever, you can't motivate to get to where you want to be at. don't let where you came from stop you from where you're trying to get to.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because if you look at it, even playing NFL and NBA, a lot of them are from South Dallas. They from Dallas, they from West Dallas. You know, but they did, like you said, he prepared when it came to him. And then you can't, because you're going to have some doves slammed in your face, I'm firm believer. But you don't give up. That's the thing about it. And a lot of them don't go nowhere because they constantly, if I done had 3 doors slammed in my face, then I'd stop moving. And he kept pushing and pushing and pushing. So that's where he got to where he was now. I listen to 104 between 104 and 105.
105, yes. Now, that's real. That's real. There's going to be a couple no's on the journey. You can't let that discourage you, though. And whenever somebody tell you no, that just means you open another door.
Yeah.
Right? All right? Don't never let no get you down in the dirt and tell you that you can't do something. You can still do it. It's just a no for this situation. It ain't going to be a no for the next one, though. All right? Y'all just keep your head down and keep going. That's all it takes. Yes, indeed. And be proud of where you're from, too. I love this city. Be proud of where you're from. All right? Any more questions?
Any more questions? Anybody got
Anybody? All right. Oh, yo.
Did you have any fear that you wouldn't get to your dream?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I sat and contemplated every day about doing something different. You know what I mean? But you can't let that overtake you. You gotta just be solid in your mind and just say, you know what? This is the goal. This is my peak. And if this is what I want, I'm gonna have to go through whatever I gotta go through in order to get it. But it was days where I was down and out, where I couldn't even see the finish line. You know? And the finish line is not even the finish line. There's still more to gain, right? So when you accomplish what you accomplish, you can't never get complacent. You can't never just get comfortable. You gotta always be striving for more. Okay, I got that, now what can I get now? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was plenty of days where I just felt like it wasn't gonna happen. But you gotta just get that out your mind. Keep pushing. Yes, sir.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Because just like you were saying, don't get complacent or content. What are some goals that now that you have reached the K104 status, what are your goals from that platform to go on further? What's
sure.
the next goal?
For sure. So one of my main goals is to one day become a part of the morning show.
Okay.
And that's closer than what I kind of give myself credit for. It's closer than what I give myself credit for. But it's still a good little way. But one of my main goals is to be a part of the morning show. My big goal is to have my own morning show.
All
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
All right.
I appreciate y'all. That's my big goal, is to have my own morning show. So
Y'all hear that? I'm pretty sure everybody in here can at least help and plant seeds to help this young man reach that goal. We can call into the K104 station and say, hey, where Trey G at? Hey, give a shout out to Trey G. Definitely help that.
hey, I tell you what, if you give me a shout out, I give y'all a shout out.
All right.
Kim has my information. Y'all will be getting shout out too in the morning. So y'all listen on the way to school, whatever. When it's traffic, when I'm doing the traffic, I will shout this whole room out. I got y'all. I got y'all.
Yeah.
What time is it? We're gonna be good on time. It'll be between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. So whenever y'all enjoy it.
Can I record it?
I be up that time, I tell them that go in between.
And I'll let them know when it is so they can send out a mass text message. They can let y'all know. That'll work?
I definitely say
For sure. For sure. All right.
Mama, she's representing Hilton Corporations.
Trey, you not leaving?
Not at all.
I know she's been at this job as long as I've been
I
born.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay, 4H.
Real good to meet you, bro. Yes, sir.
26 years. Well, for Hilton. I've been at Hilton for 26 years. When I started at Hilton, I went in as a temporary contractor. They call them contractors now. When I went, it was a temp agency sent me to Hilton. And it was 5 of us that went, and they only had 1 position. And we were there for a month, so you got to put your best foot forward. And I wind up with the job 26 years later. I've been there. I know most people, when you say Hilton or you say hotels, the first thing they think of reservations. Do you take reservations? Can you book me a room? Can you give me the hookup? Or it's you work in housekeeping, you work at the hotel. There's more to it than that. And on my board, yeah, when y'all come around, you can see I have what's in-house and what's actually in corporate. And I actually work at the corporate office in Addison. And any job that you can think of, the hotel has it. If you want to be an accountant, the hotel has it. Corporate office has it. If you want to be in marketing, the hotel has it. Corporate office has it. You want to do health profession, believe it or not, the hotel has it because we have a spa. So anything that you can think of, I've seen a lot of y'all want to be law enforcement. We have it because we have to have security at the hotels, and a lot of the security at the hotel are ex-policemen. So anything that you can think of, engineering, we have to have engineering because we have to have somebody there to take care of the maintenance on the hotel property. Also, we have to have somebody to maintenance our buildings in the corporate office. I'm trying to think. I have a friend, he was supposed to be here, which is our voiceover guy that does the announcements. But when look at this. When he started with Hilton, he was a GM. He managed one property. Today, he manages actually 15 properties. He's now a regional manager. So he just traveled, and that's the reason he wasn't here. He actually was here last weekend. He travels around the states, and he goes and manages each property and whip them into shape, basically. If they're having bad service, he's actually, the Hilton Garden Inn in Duncanville is one of his properties, so if y'all use that property, he's actually the regional manager there. He keeps the staff going. He hires and fires and does those kind of things with the different 15 properties. Like I say, he travels, so there's more than just taking reservations. There's more to it than housekeeping. It's whatever you want to put into working there. When Mr. Hill was talking, he was talking about nurturing whatever you want to be. And I had this conversation with him, and I always have it at work when we're talking, because we go out and we do these kind of things for Hilton. We do what we call trade shows. And we talk about Hilton, we talk about the honors program. And when he came up with this idea, and I thought it was a great idea, because it is nurturing what you want to do and helping you get to that goal. And I was telling him, when I was y'all age, I actually wanted to be an architect. Didn't know what an architect was. It was just, I was getting the Sunday paper, and back then, we used to get the Sunday paper, and in it would have the houses, and it would have the layout, the blueprint. And I would do the blueprint. I'm just scratching away on scratch pads, doing the blueprints and doing the measurements. Didn't know what that was, because that wasn't a part of our community. You never heard anybody talk about an architect in our neighborhood, because I came from East Dallas. I went to Dorsey. So that wasn't anything that we talked about. I went to Hutch. They didn't talk about that at Hutch. I didn't learn about different things until I actually went to Business Magnet downtown. And that's when my mind actually was opened up and broadened to different things. By then, I had got out of wanting to be an architect and actually went to school for accounting. And you say, okay, now she's at the hotel, so what is she doing in a corporate hotel? And I actually am doing accounting. I'm paying the hotel's bills, accounts receivable for all our hotels. And as you can see, we have 18 brands right now, and we have 7,000 hotels. Embassy, Doubletree, Hilton Garden Inn, Hampton Inn, Homewood Suite, True. Did I say Garden Inn? Homewood. I got them on here. Doubletree. But we have 15. And then we have a loyalty program, which is honors, and that's basically why I work in. It's honors. Making sure that the hotels get paid for their points when guests stay using their points. I'm trying to think. like I say, if there's anything that you're interested in, working in the hotels, we actually work with the University of Houston. We actually have a hospitality, which is part of Hilton, out of Houston. And they actually, you can go through that course, and it helps you get a leg up into Hilton, because you're going under the Conrad Hilton's brand and hospitality management, in which you can learn how to do the corporate side, you can learn how to do the hotel side, as well as food and beverage. So if you want to be a chef, you can still go into the hotels as a chef, be the executive chef, sous chef. It's all in what you want to be. And any questions? Delana.
I have a business owner's account, and I have a question.
Oh, man, we don't we have a running joke when we fly out. We don't wear anything with Hilton on it because we don't want nobody to stop us in the airport asking them, well, my account. I am lifetime diamond, so come on.
And also as those points expire.
If you do not use your account in a year, then you do lose your points. What we have done for this, because of the pandemic, we have extended that because we know no one was traveling because of the pandemic. So we are extending that right now. Okay? Any questions? Come on.
We lived in the Hilton Hotel when the University of Houston went.
You did?
Stayed.
Stayed there? And it's attached to the school? So anytime you want to go and stay there, remember that they have a course there just for that, in which you can actually graduate from there and give you a leg up to go into the hospitality. And it doesn't actually have to be Hilton. There is some more hotel brands. There is Marriott, Best Western. We would love to have you at Hilton. You got a question?
Got a question, Brent?
Princeton, you got a question? Yes. Okay. Princeton asked me how much money do I get paid. I'm not going to tell you how much money I get paid, Princeton, but I live comfortably, okay? When I started at Hilton 26 years ago, just to give y'all an idea, I was making $7.30. So you said, that's how long ago that was. Minimum wage was a little different.
Depend on where you go to.
So 26 years ago, I was making $7.30. I thought I was balling.
Yeah, we were balling back in them days. You throwing some fries for $7 as a chance.
I can tell you this, I live alone, and I'm able to pay my bills. And like he said, you can walk past them bills 3 or 4 times and not pay them. I walk past them and I say, okay, here you go. I'm good. I'm good. And I'm not going to say it because it's the job. I'm going to say it because it's the Lord. Because just like I said, it was 5 people up for the job. I got the job because of the Lord. Now, if it wasn't, that job wasn't for me, and the Lord didn't have that job for me, then I wouldn't have got that job. The door would have closed on me. But that was the job He had for me. And there have been times, I'm going to say it has not been a smooth transition at Hilton. Don't let me fool you. But because that was the job that the Lord sent me to, those people who were there to make me stumble, like he said, they fired him, but those people that was there to try to make me stumble, they actually were fired. They were moved out of the way. So I know that that's the job that the Lord has for me. I was on furlough for 6 months, chilling at the house, doing some things around the house. People kept telling me, well, girl, you need to find a job. You need to find a job. I said, nope, that's the job that the Lord sent me to. After my 6 months, I was back at work. Any more questions?
One question? All right, I'm gonna wait for a signal, and we're gonna take a brief break to let y'all get something to eat, and then we're gonna have the rest of our On your undivided attention.
Thank you for having me here. I'm glad to see everybody else here as well. I love to see when we come together and make something happen. For those of you who don't know, my name is DeWanna. I'm a hair extension specialist and I own my own hair business called Obsessive Tresses, where I mostly deal with like all types of extensions like tape-ins, you got micro, you got sew-ins, you got braided sew, you got quick weaves, you got everything you can think of to get extensions to make the hair look different than what it used to be. So, I'm going to give you a little background on how to get in the business, and you can take it from there if you think this is something that you want to do. Because honestly, I started out in the medical field. I was in the medical field about 16 years. Originally, I went to hair school back in 2004 to a school called BMBC in Oak Cliff. Anybody know BMBC? Yeah, old school. But I never took it serious because originally my passion was music. For those of you who don't know, I had a full scholarship to Grambling State. Band, I was a drum major, I played the flute and saxophone. So that was really my passion, but I messed it up. So I came back to be a medical school. So, long story short, it was like 2002, take you back. So, let me tell you a little bit about the extension business, hairstylists, hair salon, how to get involved. So you start with, you have to go to some type of credit school. You must earn your license and qualifications by your state. So you need at least, I think it's 1,000 hours. And you can get that from, they have it down in high school. So some of you guys who want to get into that, it's at some schools, so check into it. And once you get your license and whatnot, you can use that license to open up a business. And you can also work in different locations like the mall. They got it at some hotels. Paul Mitchell, the school I graduated from recently, they have it at some of their hotels. So you can also do it there. You can also travel, be a platform artist is what I really want to do. Like go work with Tyler Perry. You can do like a lot of these celebrities that y'all see on TV, they have personal stylists. And that's where the money's at. But the thing about that is sometimes you can't travel with them at all times because you still have to make your money somewhere too because they don't need you every day. So, education requirements. You have to have a high school diploma. You have to apply for your state license, whichever state, every state is different. In Texas, you have, I think, 1,000 hours that you have to get, and once you take your state board, then they will issue you a permit. It's actually a license. I'm at the brain, but I was rushing this morning. I had to go to work. But it's actually a permit, and I can show y'all what that looks like, and it has a number that's assigned to you. That number can be traced all over. So if you do someone's hair and you mess it up, or you cause some type of infection and whatnot, they can trace y'all with that number. You can get in trouble for it, and you can lose your license. All right. So you have to complete those 1,000 hours in some type of instructional beauty school. You have to have, if you do it in a high school, you have to have 500 hours of related high school hours. And then you have to hold your Class A barber certificate or cosmetology license. You have to pass both the written and the practical exam to obtain your license. And you do that with TDLR, they'll send you somewhere and they'll get you certified and you take it from there. So let's go into a little bit of what hair in the black community is. So I want y'all to pay attention because this is real powerful to me because I'm real pro-black. I love dealing with our culture. And these questions, if I ask you the questions, I have a surprise for y'all. I'm going to start throwing out stuff to you guys, all right? All right. So I'm talking too fast, tell me to slow down. All right. So I'm going to give you a little timeline of where it starts and how we got to today. So roughly like right after slavery, around that time, like y'all say it now, they're like, oh, her hair is nappy. If I hear y'all say it, I'm going to get on y'all and tell y'all why. The word nappy comes from the slave masters. It's a word they used to use when our hair was like kinky and natural state. So when y'all say nappy, y'all are actually down in each other. And it's not nappy, it's a texture. It's called coarse. So when you see somebody, they wear their nappy. When you see somebody wearing their natural hair, y'all, you can't say her hair is nappy. What it is you guys just don't know how to manipulate it to look to what y'all are used to seeing. So that is what that's called. But it started like around the 1700s, and it was the birth of good hair versus bad hair. Have y'all ever heard somebody say, well, she got some good hair? Stop saying it. It's not true. Nobody has good hair. It's just all hair. It's just different textures of hair. You got fine, you got medium, you got coarse. Those are the only three textures. So don't think, oh, because she white, she her hair long down her back. I know white people that got coarse hair. Adam Sandler, look at it close, he got curly hair. It looks like he could be black. but it's just the texture of his hair. So, back to this. You got, that started with the slave trade, and it was just a way to categorize the slaves. And then, moving on out, as the slave trade went through, and then you started having like, the birth of bringing our culture to America was established. That's where the braids come in. And how many of y'all know how to braid? I'm gonna call one of y'all up here in a minute. I'm gonna see who can bring braid back. But anyway, it started, the braiding technique came from Africa. And a lot of times when we brought it over here to America, we would actually use that to why y'all talking? We would actually use that to harvest goods, and like you got traded a lot back in slavery. So what they would do is they would make escape routes in the hair. They would braid. So y'all think all these zigzags and stuff look nice? The slaves, our ancestors did that way before y'all. They would sit there and draw a whole map in the head by braiding, and that's how people would get away. Let me see where we're going, master. And they would follow the trails in the hair, and that's how they knew how to get to where they was going to escape. Bet y'all didn't know they did, y'all. Also, it's certain type of braiding techniques that they would do, and they would hide like seeds, rice, all that type of stuff inside the hair. That way, if they get sold, and they get sold over here to California, well, they unbraid that braid and pull out some rice. That's how they kept their families together. That's how they kept them fed. So next time y'all see people with braids, think about y'all culture and where it started from, because the braids started in Africa. Let's remember that. All right. So we moving on. Everything is evolving. Now we coming up. Now we've got the 1900s. This is where the real stuff starts to begin. You had a guy called Garrett A. Morgan. That's this guy right here. He actually was an African American guy who made sewing machine repairs to sewing machines. And he actually won a patent for creating the first chemical relaxer. This guy right here, he created, y'all know what, y'all call it perms.
Yeah.
That's really not the terms. It's just what black people call it. It's really called a relaxer. A perm is what the white folks would use to make their hair curly. So when y'all see white people, they have their curly hair, and they say, oh, I got a perm. That's what we use. We call it relaxer. So relaxer makes our hair straight. The perm makes their hair curly. All right? So he invented that perm, and that's when everybody thought we laid, dyed, fried, and laid to the side. You got the 1900s, it was the rise of the black culture. The beauty standards, everything started to be an influence. You had the makeup, you had the sister, y'all see Color Purple. They had the finger waves and the updos and all that type of stuff. That was around the 1900s. So, in that time, let me go back. Okay. So around that time, after he created that relaxer, it just took off. So you had the finger waves, you had the pin curls. Like I Love Lucy, her curls was maintained by pin curls. They didn't really use a lot of heat back in the day because heat was damaging. So I'm gonna go back because I skipped over. The 1800s is when the hot comb was invented. Y'all know what a hot comb is?
Yeah, there's that.
This right here is an electric hot comb. It's an electric hot comb, and it get pretty hot. It get pretty hot. I'm gonna pass this around, let y'all take a look at it and see how that is. This is what your great-grannies, your grandmothers used to use on Sunday mornings, Saturday nights. We would get our hair pressed.
Mine was on the stove.
Mine
was plugged
They
in.
might
That's
got
electric.
She said that's electric.
You should have told me. I still got mine. See, they got it's bedazzled and everything.
But they're right there. That hot comb right there to manipulate hair strands. What I mean by that, the bonds in your hair. So if you have natural curly hair, which I'm gonna use Joy in a minute. Come here, Joy. I'm gonna use her. This is my lovely model, Joy. This is my assistant here. But what's gonna happen is I'm gonna show y'all. This is a natural texture, and she has like medium fine texture, which means her hair doesn't really need a lot of heat to be straight. Her hair is not porous, and she has a porosity level that holds water really well, so it's like a water wave texture. But I'm gonna show y'all, I'm gonna section it off into one little piece, and I'm gonna show y'all how to manipulate the natural textures of her hair into making it into straight. Hold on, my brother. We're gonna do that right now. All right.
Mama, I never got to feel it.
What?
I never got to feel it here.
You live with her. Sit down.
So that was in the 1800s. Right after the good versus bad hair stuff came out, then you had the 1800s. Now the 1900s is when, hey, the 1900s is when we had a young lady by the name of Madam C.J. Walker.
Yes.
How many people know who she is? All right, so I'm talking
You're
about.
going to break the church.
Madam C.J. Walker was the first American self-made millionaire. Like y'all heard me say, you should get it out, y'all get it out the mud. She got it out the mud. She really got it out the mud. And what she did was she was a historic figure for her contribution to black hair care. But first being the first American woman to become the self-made millionaire. However, everyone has watched this movie on Netflix, about her life and just her roles to how she got to where she was and who she is. She started working for a fellow American named Annie Tanogo Malone, who was the original pioneer of the hair product Walker. Now, I know y'all heard of Walker products, like Walker tape, all that stuff. It all goes way back. They the ones that invented all of that. But she worked for her, and in the movie, as you see, she didn't want to give her a chance. And she didn't want to listen to it, so she eventually ended up, when that door shut, she opened up another door and started making her own products. And it actually was some good products. She made products for like textures, different textures for black women in the South who suffered from scalp conditions, heavy dandruff, alopecia, and that's really strong in the black community, like a lot of us suffer from alopecia. Diseases. She did a lot of stuff to like help with the empowerment of black women. And this is a picture of her right here. I don't know if y'all can see it, but that's her. She got a nice little pin curve right there. But then in the 1900s, then you had Garrett A. Morgan, this guy right here who invented the relaxers. And that's when, you know, you start having the slicks, the straight, went from the kinky texture to more of a fine straight texture. And then after that, the next movement was the 1960s. The 1960s was impacted by the Black Power movement, which you had the Black Panther Party, you had a lot of civil rights leaders, and you had all of them. They were embraced in their culture because at this point, it was like we were trying to follow and mimic most of the white culture. We wanted the straight hair, we wanted to, you know, be in their shoes. In reality, it was a manipulated situation. So when this came around, you had the fro. How many know where the fro came from? Who can tell me where the fro came from? Oh, I got another question. Where did the word Afro come from?
From the 70s. I know that wasn't.
Where did the word Afro come from? Who? African. I can give you these little books. It did. It derived from the word African. So they used Afro to keep the roots pure, right? So the word Afro meant like your culture, your rights. That's why they started wearing the natural hair, the fros, and started with all of this Black Power and all that stuff. It was to embrace the Black cultureness with our hair texture. You had, in that moment, you had the inspired teachers of Malcolm X. You had his assassination in 1965. The Black Power movement, it rooted in the racial pride. So a lot of like discrimination that we have today is all about the black hair. I don't know if y'all remember, but back in the day, you couldn't have dreadlocks in school. Then you couldn't play sports. You had dreadlocks, you had to cut them off, and you got kicked out of school. And that was recently. This wasn't even 20 years ago. And another thing about dreadlocks, people that are really into that type of roots and stuff, they hate the word dreadlocks. I'm going to tell you about that. Because the dreadlocks is the name that they gave the blacks, like Jamaicans and all of that, because they used to say their hair looked dreadful. So when you have somebody that's really deep into the roots of the hair culture, and you say dreadlocks, they're going to get mad at you, they're going to educate you. So they call it locks, not dreadlocks. So keep that in mind next time you see your cousin, they got locks. So instead of saying dreadlocks, you say, I like your locks, man. All right? Like GJ. All right? That was in the 60s. Then in the 70s, and I got a picture of this fro right here too, so y'all can kind of see. But in the 70s, the black hair is celebrated in the mainstream media for the first time. That means we was on billboards, we was in the papers, and it got to a point where we started getting recognized. And people started taking it serious. In 1972, the black model and actress Cicely Tyson, how many of y'all know who she is? Cicely Tyson, we don't recognize her as Annalise's mother in Viola Davis' hit ABC drama called How to Get Away with Murder. But she wore cornrows on the magazine cover, and that was in 1972, as well on U.S. TV series East Side, West Side. And it was a real big cultural moment for the black community, because this is the first time we started seeing people on TV that looked like us, like in the flesh, right? All right. And that was more emphasis on that. You had 2 years later, the model Beverly Johnson, she became the first black woman to appear on the cover of Vogue magazine. That was in 1974. That's not that far along. So think about where we are today. And they just let, black women start being advertising on magazines in 1976. So that's a big movement for us. Okay? So we also had in the late 70s, y'all grannies know about this. Y'all young. Jerry curls. How many of y'all know what Jerry curls is?
Follow the drip. Follow the drip.
See this man right here? Yeah. Y'all don't know this picture right here. Y'all seen Coming to America?
So
That was Jerry curl.
What?
That is Jerry
That man that was at the end of that movie that sings to our family.
Spraying all this stuff in his hair. Now the Jerry curl, how they got that to take place is they would use some type of product, and the product they would put it in the hair. It's kind of like a relaxer. They would put it in the hair. They would roll it with certain type of rollers. When they use those rollers, it's like a thioglycide or something like that. I can't think of the word. But they would pour the chemicals. Once they washed it out, they would pour the chemicals in there, and it was like a activated, like it would make the curls stay from those curlers. When they get through, they take the papers and the rollers out, and you had a Jerry curl. I got pictures. We had when we was little. I'm gonna show y'all some pictures. But anyway, and that, I know y'all know Michael Jackson.
Yep.
All right? So, it's also this guy right here that was going to come to America. That was in the late 70s. Then fast forward a little bit, we got the 90s. Some of y'all was born in the 90s, so now we're on y'all level. In the 90s, you had the rise of black pop culture influences beauty standards. And what I mean by that, it was like a golden era for black culture with the launch of many icon sitcoms like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You had Martin, Moesha, Sister, all of them. They all were created to be a positive black, a reputation for black people. And not only that, a lot of the hair trends started coming out. Y'all know who Shanae is?
Yes.
Those were real styles. If you got some aunties and uncles, go look at their pictures from when they was in high school and college. They had the finger waves with the crimps on one side and all of that. That stuff was real live hairstyles, and it was what you call with the big loop earrings and all that. It was the style. Just like y'all like braids and knotless and all that. Back in that time, finger waves and all that stuff was in, and that was in the 90s. Box braids and all that was out, but it wasn't as popular because we were still on the relaxer stage. We wasn't embracing the natural yet. So after that, you had the 2000s. This is when everybody started trying to embrace the natural hair. And that was around, I want to say 2010 with Michelle Obama. She started wearing her natural hair right when they got out of office. And there was a big controversy about it. She would have worn when she was in office, and when he was running, he wouldn't have worn it. And then if you can see it's a picture over here with her with her natural hair right here. But in 2010, in the embracing the natural hair, you had the celebrities and black influencers both in the U.S. and in the U.K. And they started like advertising, and they even had the Black Brit, Michelle De Leon, they created World Afro Day. This was in 2017. So if y'all can, on Afro Day, start wearing your natural hair. If you don't, get a wig. It's okay.
What day?
And it was described as a global day of change, celebrating and educating the Afro-American hair. And to keep going on and on, we also welcomed a whole host of black hair products. I have a couple of friends who have their own black products, and they're in beauty supply houses. I'll show y'all some of their work and some of their pictures too. Because I don't think you don't have to be in the hair business to be a part of it. Some of y'all want to be inventors and all of that. If you can invent products that can help. If you have a problem with your hair, invent something that helps, and you might be able to help others. So in that era, a whole lot of people started coming with black products. You had Cantu, Shea Moisture. I don't know if y'all know about Just For Me, but back in the day, Lusters, that was our stuff. But a lot of them, they included Charlotte Manasai. You had DZAC. There was a lot of black products that started hitting the mainstream in 2010. And then let me give y'all some history on braids. So for black Americans, we get braids based off texture. So you have some people that have fine hair, they'll get braids, they probably won't last 3 to 4 weeks because their hair texture is so fine, the braids slide right out. But there's different types of hair braid extensions that you can get that can help. You got color and texture. Texture is curly, straight, or wavy. That's what texture means. So if you ever go get your hair done, they're like, what kind of texture hair you got? You know, you can be, I got kind of wavy when it's blowed out, or you got to learn the texture of your hair. So let me tell you, braids, it started out in Africa with the Himba people of Namibia. And these people have been braiding their hair for centuries. In many African tribes, braided hairstyles were a unique way to identify each tribe. Braid patterns and hairstyles were an indication of a person's tribe, age, marital status, wealth, power, and religion. It was also a social art. Because of the amount of time it can take, people often would take the time to socialize. It began with the elders braiding the children, then the children watch and learn from them. So it goes on and on. If you got time, just come read this little fun history fact about braids. And after that, it started spreading It started getting out to other cultures. You had Egypt with the Afro box braids in 3100 BC. You had Greece with the halo braid in the 1st century. Native Americans with pigtail braids in the 5th century. Europe with the crown braids from 1066 to 1485. You had China with the staircase braids. That was 1644 to 1912. The Caribbean with modern cornrows in the 1970s. And it just goes on and on and on and on. But next time y'all are out and y'all see y'all friends and stuff, take a second to just look at their hair and feel and just see. Because there's so many different textures, even in the black community. All right? So now, I want to ask y'all some questions to see who's been paying attention. Y'all ready? All right. Who can tell me who this man is? Marvin.
His name is, Madam C.J. Walker?
That's a girl.
Oh, you sound like a woman.
Come on. Who can tell me where the braids originated from?
Africa.
You gonna raise your hand. Right till she call you to scream at him.
I got you. All right.
I know the name.
When was the hot comb invented? What's his name in the white shirt?
What's your name?
He wasn't paying attention.
When was the hot comb invented? When was the hot comb invented? You already asked so many questions. Mars.
1980?
Nope.
No, because I was getting mine
Come on,
done
some
before
of you
me.
kids. When was the hot comb invented?
I don't know, 1950. I don't know. 1960.
Nope.
Y'all need to go back.
1800.
I would say 19.
All right. Who was Madam C.J. Walker? Okay.
She was the first African American self-made millionaire.
Right. Self-made millionaire. Yes, you are.
Okay, girl. Okay.
Take your notes at school to get better grades.
If you sit up, you might be all right in school.
Yeah, you. Sit up. Sit up.
I like it. Sit up.
Okay, sit up.
One more question. Well, I got a couple more questions. When was the Jerry curl invented? Same people who raised their hand?
Your baby said you ain't calling on him.
Principal.
I don't know.
He said 1960. Let me double check.
Oh, 1980s?
Uh-oh, you cheated?
1980s?
Nope. Who else? You said, oh, you cheated. What, the 70s? Got your family. All right.
I did too.
When did Michelle Obama embrace her natural hair?
After Obama was at
But what year was that?
Look at that boy, he gonna come out there and
Sure,
burn.
he got all of it. Yeah. But does anybody know the year?
It was
2010. Everybody got that. All right. So, who can name a type of braiding technique? Huh? Sauce.
Give me some answer. Mama, call on my friend.
Raise your hand.
Mama.
No.
Box braiding.
She's gonna ask for one.
Bob.
It's a lot different ones.
Micro.
Not you. Not this. Last one.
Oh, we need, that's what I mean.
What's the next prize?
Ain't no more prizes.
I ain't ready mine.
So, what I did was, try to show y'all different types of stuff to do the extensions or to peel these extensions. Anybody know what this is? Weave. Braiding work. My hands
Don't
are
even call it weave.
So, well, weave is extensions, but this right here is technically is pre-stretched braiding hair. So this is what they use to do all types of braids. You can do buns with it. You can do a lot of things with this right here. And when I get done, I'll let some of y'all play with it right here in a minute.
No, don't let them play with it.
This right here, we call,
When is National Afro Day?
well, it says right here that National Afro Day, let me see, 2017, but it don't say the actual date.
Google it. Google it.
Yeah, it don't say the actual date. It's 2017. But these right here, I'm gonna pass these around and let y'all look at these. Have y'all ever heard of microlinks or I-tips?
Yes.
That's what these are used for. And what they are, they're little links that, it's like a braided sew-in. So you would use the track hair and you would put the bead onto the hair and you would connect the hair with the braided track. With the track. And that's how you would get like a knotless sew-in. You can pull up the ponytail, they're very versatile and whatnot. You would use this little tool right here to get those in. You can pass these around, let everybody get a feel and touch those. And today, I'm going to show you all, because a lot of young black girls do not know how to get through their natural hair. They don't know how to comb through it. You tell your mama tell you to comb your hair, and you just got the inside cake. You don't know how to get the comb through it. So I'm going to use Joy, my model, and I'm going to show y'all. I'm not going to do a whole head. I'm going to do it later, but right now I'm just going to show y'all the basics after you shampoo your hair, what to do to get through your natural hair. So come here, Joy, I'll show you. All right. To achieve that pattern, we're going to manipulate the bonds and get them straight. So, we're going to start off when you shampoo your hair. Let's say she just got through shampooing her hair and it's all blown out. What she has to do is you have to part your hair in 4 sections. You have to blow it out first, because what's going to happen is I can leave that like that. What's going to happen is the blow dryer is going to help break the bonds and get them a little straight. They call it blown out. Then you won't have to use so much heat to straighten the hair. So be patient with me. All right, here we go. So right now I'm just combing her top. I'm going to divide it into 2 sections. And you would also divide your back into 2 sections. So you would have 4 parts in your hair, right?
Mr. Warner.
What's up?
I have found out the day for National.
Afro Day?
Yes,
So what's the
September
date?
15th.
September 15th, y'all hear that?
September 15th is National Afro Day.
So hopefully if that's on a Sunday, or we can all wear natural fro from church, so we can embrace that. All right?
I got an afro wig.
And while I'm breaking her hair down, anybody got any questions? Anything they want to know, feel free to ask. Any questions?
Anybody got any questions for Mr. Warner?
So, would we consider Kiara is a blowout?
Y'all not letting me
Yes.
feel it.
I definitely blew my hair out.
Hey.
She's natural.
Yes, I am.
Look at her, look at her.
That's
Right.
right.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to give y'all an example of, let's just say she just got through washing her hair and it's wet. This is what a blowout is. You would take a really wide brush. Oh, I do have 2 more prizes. My bad. Uh-oh. Some lace bands.
Thanks, baby.
What you do is you take a brush and a blow dryer. Which I don't have a brush, but I do have a blow dryer. And what you would do is you would take the brush. Let's just say this is the brush right here. And you would take your blow dryer and you would blow it out like this from the root down. And what this is going to do is manipulate the bonds and make them like straight. Take the brush and do like this. What I'm doing is I'm just kind of straightening it before I put the heat on. And what a lot of y'all can do since y'all are so young and you don't really know how, you can get the blow dryers that have the comb attached to them, and it'll work a lot better. So once I get this like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, do y'all see the difference? Turn this way, Joe, so they can see. You see how that's blown out compared to her natural texture? Y'all see the difference? So that'll help a lot instead of just throwing the flat irons on your hair, because you'll burn your hair out. So what you want to do is, you always want to use some type of heat protectant or some type of oil or something. Like back in the day, they used to press our hair. My granny put all that grease right here on her head. Just like that. And she would go in and put it in your hair. Nowadays, y'all don't like y'all hair weighed down, so y'all don't like the oil. But it protects the hair. So once you get that in there real good, you take the pressing comb. Hold your ear from Joy. Now Joy's been to me before. She's came and got her hair done before, so she know how I get down. She's very tender-headed and she's scared of the heat. She don't got bigger now. Go ahead, Joy. So you want to start at the root. And when you go in the hair, the proper way to use a pressing comb is you need the back of this, not the comb. So when you go in, you're going to go in with the comb, then use the back and press it down. Now don't be looking like I'm burning her. That's that oil I just put in her hair. And then, like me, I'll take it and just do the roots like this, because I know she's scared. And I just get the roots, and then once I get the roots, that's when I just go back and get the bladder. Now I go just like this, and this is how you get the straight hair. Ta-da! Now can y'all see the difference? Straight.
It's real good.
And that's not just no real straight job. It's just a quick, fast, and simple way to show y'all how to do it. When we get ready to get done, I'm going to really do her hair for real. So when y'all get done, y'all can look at her hair and see how it is. All right?
Yeah, that's for y'all that y'all be going to school calling people bald headed. Far from it.
Shrinkage is real.
The shrinkage is real.
Yeah. All right?
Okay, y'all got any questions?
So that's for my model, Joy. Thank you, Joy. And I also want to show y'all one more thing before I get out. How to use a curling iron. A lot of y'all do not know how to curl y'all own hair. What's that? Next up, I'm going to have Miss Kim come and I'm going to show y'all how to manipulate and how to make some curls and some hair. All right?
Because I showed them. Look, I've been going to you for I don't know how long, and I still can't curl my own hair.
It's my sister. Y'all give her a round of applause. You always want to use some type of protective because say she had to go to work, she wouldn't want all of that hair on her clothes, right? Come on, back over here by me. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show y'all two types of curls. What she got right now is more like a beach wave. That's when the ends are mostly straight and the curl is in the top. So the section is off. I'm going to show y'all how to get a beach wave. It's real simple. So you can take your curling iron. And when you're curling, always go from the middle of your face. Your right side, you curl back going to the right. Left side, you curl back going to the left. So on this side, we're going to come back to the left, like this. You go in, you leave the end straight. Undo it, drop it. That's what you call a beach wave, right there. Can y'all see? It's more like a natural curl. Can you see? That's what you call a beach wave. Now let me show y'all a tight barrel curl. Now with the barrel curl, you don't let the bottom go. You connect everything. So you see how it looks like it's a roller? It's in a roll texture. That's how you do it. And that's what you call a barrel curl. Can y'all see the difference? Yes. That's a barrel curl. So what we're going to do, since it's raining outside, we're going to do her a quick curl with some barrel curls so that when they do fall, they turn into waves. They're going to fall anyway. So if you curl them tight, when they do fall, they'll look wavy. So I'm going to show y'all how to do a 10-minute curl. Y'all count time? Look at the time.
128.
128. We should be done by what time? Who can tell me what time we need to be done if it's 10 minutes?
2.
138.
138.
138.
138. That's right. Go. My sister, can you take her lace band over there? She got the answer right. You want lace band?
I don't think you need any lace bands.
Mama, those are for the girls.
I know they for the girls. You can wear it too. If you get waves, you can tie your waves down.
I'm not a girl.
Well, nowadays, y'all do stuff that we do anyway. Tie your hair up.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I get that. Y'all see how we already done with this side that quick? Can y'all see? I'm already working to the back. Curling irons are more faster, but they don't last as long because the heat, it breaks the bond, but at the same time, hey, top. At the same time, the water, the humidity, the shower can break the bonds as well. So that's why when you take a shower, your curls fall because it's reverting the bonds back to its natural state. Yes, ma'am.
What do you think is better, a curling iron or a wand?
It depends on what kind of curl you want for. You can achieve the same curls with both products, both utensils, but at the same time, you can get a tighter curl with the curling iron. So if you want beach waves, a wand is better. If you want barrel curls, a curling iron is better. If you don't know how to curl, a wand is better, because you just wrap the hair around the wand. And when you get through, you take them and pull them together, and then
Bless you.
bless you, person. Okay. Say thank you. Yes, ma'am. Here you go, Will. You ready to sit down? No. Yes, I got a question. How can I help?
At what age should you probably start doing your hair by yourself?
It just depends. I started doing my own hair probably like the 3rd grade, because at that time my mom was in Dallas and I was in Midland. I was born in Midland. I was in Midland with my grandmother. She couldn't really do hair the way we liked, so I would go in there and put my hair in a ponytail right after my silk person back in the day. And then I would finger wave my little cousin's hair too, so I started playing the hair at an early age. But honestly, like the 5th grade is when I was really doing my hair full time. Like I didn't have to have my mom put me no plaits in my hair.
5th grade.
But you can take it in school. Everything that they do now, you can achieve it in school.
Yeah.
I got a question. Since you work with a lot of products, what would you suggest, what would you name as your top 3 products to go with natural hair?
I'm gonna say I got a tea tree shampoo. That's my top product, because it works on all textures of hair, and your styles are only as far as your condition. So like if you don't really take care of the natural hair, when you get ready to style it, it's not gonna shine. It's not gonna have that volume or whatnot. So to me, tea tree shampoo is really good. And not only that, like I do a lot of extensions, so a lot of times my clients' hair, they don't wear their hair. So the tea tree shampoo helps with their natural hair under there. It helps keep it moisturized. It opens up the scalp, helps it breathe. And then I would say after that, I would say some type of conditioning. So something like a what do you call it? Like a aloe vera plant or black castor oil, something like that help coat the hair. Because hair takes a beating from like the sun, water, all that type of stuff. So aloe vera plant or like an aloe vera product or castor oil product to protect the hair.
Can you use that on a daily basis?
And the good thing about aloe vera, it's all natural. You don't have to wash it out. It's a natural stimulant, and it helps with dandruff in the scalp. It helps open the scalp, like to penetrate and like get it healthy. It's like a natural, like 100% natural product, and it's not like touch. Like a lot of these products you see in the store, they say for natural hair, like Cantu and a lot of those products, they used to be owned by a lot of black companies. Now a lot of the white owners have their hands in it. So what they do is to keep the cost effective, they'll go in and add a lot of silicone and parabens and stuff like that to stretch the product. So you got to be careful when you're getting a lot of natural products. A good product that I refer for natural hair, because you wear a lot of twist outs, I would go with like Mielle. She has some really good products. And it's a little expensive, but it really does the job. Like it coats the hair, and then like with your twist out, it'll keep it moisturized all day. So that's a good product. Yes.
What would you do for like situations with like hair loss or like you were saying alopecia? What would be good remedies for that?
Well, alopecia, it depends on what type you have. So first you have to go and get your hair tested with a dermatologist. And what they'll do is they'll take a biopsy of your scalp, and then what they'll do is they'll send it off and get it tested to make sure that it can grow back first of all. So you have some people that suffer from tension alopecia. You have some people that suffer from just dermatitis, severe dermatitis of the scalp. So once they diagnose you, then you go from there. And if it's just like tension alopecia or something like that, what they'll do is they'll subscribe you a certain type of oil, and then they'll like a fluocinolone oil or like a some people get the steroid injections to the scalp.
Yeah, I used to get those.
And when they give them to you in the scalp, it's just a steroid. The steroids boost things off, make it stronger. So it just makes the cuticle of the hair stronger, the root, the bulb where the hair grows makes it stronger, and it holds the hair so it can go ahead and grow.
And that depends on the severity or how many shot injections you need.
Yeah, because you have some people that is so damaged, it's went so long without blood circulation that no matter how many injections they get, it's not going to grow. Because under there's no blood flow. You still need oxygen and blood flow to the scalp. It's just like your nails, your fingernails and all that, it's all connected. So yeah, it just depends. Some of it is hereditary. I got a lot of clients who got it hereditary. You have some people that suffer like with cancer, lupus, and blood pressure medication is one of them. Blood pressure medication will eat you alive. Yeah, it takes all the nutrients out.
It will also, because she is my beautician, like I say, it will, because we've dealt with this, it will make your hair start to fall out.
Oh yeah.
It will shed it bad.
All the nutrients just break it. Who got the time?
You still got a couple seconds.
And we done.
You got 3
You got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
So
That was 6 minutes, 44 seconds. World record.
what we're gonna do is, we didn't really do no big style. What I did just gave it some light curls, because now I'm gonna take my hands and I'm gonna break it up like this. And this is gonna give it more of a messy body look. Y'all see that? Farrah Fawcett going on with the bangs.
Hi, Miss Kim.
That's a
I
little-
see you, girl.
I'm gonna say this, with Dewana, she has, when she schedules a time, and you are there that time and you're out that time. I know in our community, we have a bad issue with, a lot of us don't go to the beauty shop because we feel like it's gonna be an all-day thing.
Yes, Lord.
I have went to beauticians and got there at 9 and was still there at 4. But with her, she is blocked, and your time is your time, and you're not there with a whole bunch of people waiting.
Yeah, and that is true. And let me give y'all a little history on my clientele. I have over 1,200 clients. I start in the mornings at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock on weekends. I do a typical 6 to 7 heads a day. I do not take a break. I do not eat. So when I say you be there at 8, you need to be there at 8. If you come after 8:30, I'm going to skip your shampoo. That's how I work. But that's it. And this is a basic curl right here. This is a basic curl right here. So some of you girls don't know how to use a curling iron, there was a tutorial right there. All
I
right?
bet you be on time next time.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
I think I got somewhere to be.
Look at you, girl. Look at you.
I don't know where I'm going, but I got somewhere to be.
For me, I'm not saying don't go off to college. I'm not saying if you can go off, it's excellent to go off. But if you can't, there are other ways to go. So as for me, when I graduated high school, I did not go straight to college. I did a little bit, but I didn't. I was supposed to go off, but I didn't. My grandma is my pride and joy. She had a little health scare, so I did not go. I was not going. So what I did here, I stayed here and did community college. So I went to El Centro downtown for a couple of times. So it kind of gave me a feel to what I wanted to do. So as you all know, I do love children. I don't have any. I'm the only one that have everybody kids. So basically, I started working at a daycare. I started off in the infant room, of course, with the babies. I love small babies, of course. But then I was like, okay, maybe this is what I want to do. I enjoy going to work. I enjoy doing stuff. So I'm like, maybe this is what I want to do. The whole time I thought nursing. That was on my mind. But as me, I don't like germs. I don't like blood. Seeing blood just freaks me out. Seeing anybody bleed freaks me out. If you hit, freaks me out. So I'm like, how am I going to be a nurse and blood freaks me out? So I thought about it. So with me just going to the daycare every day, I started moving up real quick. So like he said, if you step your foot out and it's something that you really want to do, and working with kids, I'm going to put it to you. You got to have a heart to do it.
Amen.
It's not being there for the money. It's not being there for, you have to have a heart to work with kids. You have to have a heart to deal with kids. That's why a lot of people are just dealing with kids. So I am a person that y'all can, if something not going right, you just feel like you can't talk to your mama, I am the person. Like, I do not mind talking to y'all.
I will talk to y'all. I understand that y'all have the slang bro and bruh and fam and cap. I'm going to relate to y'all. I'm going to talk to y'all the way because I feel like that's how I get through to y'all with putting myself in y'all position. But, so growing up, I end up being with my 4 years of working at a daycare, I ended up being an assistant director. Something happened and we lost our director and our assistant director at one time. But they had to move me up somewhere because I knew everything. I was doing everything. I'm very observant. They're probably not your job, but pay attention to where you want to go. If you want to move up, just pay attention to what the person high over you is doing. So I paid attention. So when it was my time, it was my time. So how I got my position, that's how I got it. I didn't get it. They got fired and they moved me up. They don't have nothing to do with me. I'm going to move up. So with that being said, I said, let me go back to school. So just so I can gain more information, because I know I'm going to have to move up to a director. And to be a director, you have to have some college hours. You also have to have your CDA. You also have to have business management. So I'm like, okay, let me take a business management course. Took that course. With me already being in the daycare and feeling the needs, when it was come time for my CDA, passed that with a cakewalk, passed it with 100, all the way through. So maybe if y'all want to just get a feel of what y'all want to do first and then go for it. And God will bring it to you.
Amen.
So with me spending my whole time at the daycare, I started settling. I felt like I was okay. I don't have to do nothing. Don't get me wrong. I stopped coming to church. I felt like, oh, I'm good now. Like, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm straight. I can chill. I don't got to go to church. I listen. God know my heart. But then I stopped praying. Then I stopped reading my Bible. I was always going. My granny, you coming to church? I'm coming, Granny. She called me that morning. I can barely wake up. So at that time, I started feeling like that's not me. Because when I was a kid, we couldn't go wrong. Church, that was the time. Brianna.
I've been there.
Like, that was our church, like, as we growing up, it was our friends. It was the only friends I had. So Sunday, I wanted to go to church. So I'm going to take you back a couple of months when I got this position. I haven't been at this position but perfectly probably a month and a half now. But I'm here. So my little story that goes along with my research. So I wanted to, I started settling. Then something just came over me. Like, I wasn't happy with my job. I was like, dang, why I gotta go to work? Like, I don't want to go to work. It's like it was always something. Like, I was never late. I'm supposed to be to work at 7:30. My alarm ringing at 7:30. But I'm still at home, so it's just like, I don't want to go.
Right.
So when you start getting like that, and that's because you're settling, God is like, why you stopping? It's somewhere else for you to go. So I'm like, I don't want to go to work. Then nobody plays about their coins. No. They start playing with my money, deducting pay. So I'm like, I want to, it's something going on. Like, the other side wanted to come out, so I stopped. And I just started being depressed. But look, don't always grab your Bible when you're depressed. Grab it every day. I'm just living the witness. But I grabbed my Bible and I just started reading. I started praying. I started like asking God, like, what am I going to do? So I started talking to God. I just let it go and let him. I started doing application because I'm like, it's not the job for me. So I got the job. I did an application for Arlington ISD. I'm like, okay, I may get it, I may not. So let me do another one to see which one come through first. I did for Greater Head Start, which is kind of simply, still I'm going to be in a daycare vicinity. So I'm like, okay, they called me first. The Head Start called me. I'm like, oh, okay. They called me, but the district, more benefits, more pay, more everything. So I'm like, I don't feel like waiting. Like, what I'm going to wait for? What I'm waiting on? So I'm going to just go with the Head Start. It's quicker.
everything is fine. It's time for me to do, I accept the application and everything. My friend, she's like, oh, I start Monday. I'm like, dang, why they ain't call me? I know I got more experience than you. Like, why they ain't call me? But that's when I wanted to go. It was quicker to my house. Arlington is actually 35, 40 minutes from my house. But that's the drive I do every morning. But to make a long story short, I was like, what am I settling for? And I felt like God, he came to me, he's like, what are you settling for? You already did that. Go up higher. So you might not think it's not a growth for you to go in anything, it always is. The growth might be your own company. The growth might be the people that you work for now might be your boss. You might be their boss in the long run. So at the same time, just watch what you're doing and just take observation. Like they said, it don't matter where you come from. I went to Wilma Hutchins High School. That is in Holland Hills. I went to school with Holland Hills, BFL, I went to school with all of them. So, then another thing, a lot of people say, well, why, you didn't go off to college, so how you a teacher? I went to UT Arlington. You can get the same thing in Arlington, right down the street from my house, right down the street from my granny. I got the same exact thing that I could have got when I went. It's not about where you go, it's about what you do when you get there.
Yeah.
So, just make sure y'all take everything that we are telling y'all, and you will get there, because I'm there now. And the program that I work for at my job, it is a SEES program. Some of you, they call it special education, but it's really not special education. But because I don't like labeling is it special education. But who I work with at my school is the children that they let their emotions weigh them down. So I handle behavior children. And he did say, you're tired. This is what I wear to work because I always have to be ready for anything. We don't have great days every day, of course. Nobody's days are perfect. Some days we might have days where I will have to restrain someone or a child, or if he gets to, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. We do have children that will pick up this chair and slang it wherever. That's why we try to have them in a small setting. My job is to get them to calm down, get them to relate, get them to understand what's going on, just so they won't do nothing that they will regret in the long run. Because sometimes it's just off of some little words. Some kids, that's why I said, like, be careful how y'all react to people or what y'all say to people, because that might affect them. Like, sometimes you probably won't even say, oh, why you got that on? That might trigger them. Like, don't ask nobody no question about their appearance. If that's what they have on, that's most likely what they wanted to put on, or that's all they had. So just try to be more lenient to how y'all talk to people or what y'all ask people about, because you don't know what's going on outside of home. But that's where I come in at, for them to reach out to me. I do have a lot of students. I'm not gonna lie, I do give my students my number, but thanks to Apple, there is a button that I can put y'all on Do Not Disturb. So I will give y'all my number, but at a certain time, I will put y'all on Do Not Disturb. So basically, the program, it just specializes in social needs and everything like that, behavior programs or anything. So if you feel like you're gonna do something that you know deep down is not you, you can talk to me. I will talk to you all. It does not matter. The duties that I just have to meet the education needs. Sometimes your behavior does hinder your learning strategy. So it's my job to work with y'all according to that. So I did do my personal daily schedule, because every teacher is going to have their different schedule. So I perfectly wake up around 6:10. I leave out the house at perfectly 6:50, hopefully. Around 7:30, I'm pulling up to work, because it is a distance from my house. 7:45 to 8:10. I do have a morning post where I do stand because they put me at this morning post because it's the post, where y'all meet up every morning with y'all friends waiting. So they put me at that post to get some of the traffic to die down. Of course, they stop there and talk to me, but I'm going to keep it pushing. Because more kids relate to me, I guess they say at that school, because of my background. And we kind of is all coming from the same background. So they have me at the morning post. And then they also have me there because they say I encourage kids to come to school every morning. I say good morning to everybody. I don't care if you do not say it back to me. I will make you speak to me. I'm going to tell you good morning. I'm going to tell you to have an awesome day. And I'm going to go tell you to be great. And then at the end of school, I will ask you, how was you great today? What did you do great today? Give me some great you did. And then if you're feeling down, tell me something good about yourself. Speak positive into yourself and friends. So my morning duty, I do have a different classroom I'm in. I'm actually in an current class, and that is the class with more autistic kids and more kids that need more help than others. So I do go down there and help out, cheer them on a little bit. Around 11, if I do have a chance, I have lunch. Not big on lunch, just as long as I have snacks in between. My afternoon duties, I do them in the evening. I make it home preferably around 4:15, and that at that time I do have a second job as well, so I get online. Right now it is a lot of voting is coming up, election. So I do take surveys for elections. I'm what they call probably your phone scam likely.
Yeah.
But half of the time it's not scam likely. It's actually real people trying to speak with you because your surveys, when it comes to politics, it does matter. Everybody's opinion matters. So half of the time, your mama like, ooh, scam likely calling. Just tell your mama, no, it's probably Kiara. Mama, answer the phone. Okay? So I do have a second job just doing that right now because there is more. It's money out here for that's always to be made. I work at home. I sit on my couch, literally, make money. Half of the times I give people voicemails because people don't answer for scam likely. So half of the times I'm leaving voicemail. So there is always money to be made and trouble to stay out of. So I do that for about 4 hours on my free time. So around 9 o'clock, yes, I am early. 9 o'clock, I am asleep. 9 o'clock, I am in the bed. I am a grandma. I go to sleep because my grandma did not play that. 9 o'clock, you're going to sleep. So I'm still kind of on that schedule. So basically, that's everything that I do, pretty much. So is there any questions about how my day go and everything? Yes.
I have a question because I have two that I just had to do meetings with their schools Monday. Jamarian and then Princeton, one over there at the table, can't sit still, went to the bathroom but he got a soda. And they're trying to get them tested right now. And my biggest thing is I don't want to put them on medication because I did have to take medication, but they want to test them for like dyslexia. With Mari, he has a problem with expressing himself and getting his feelings and stuff out at the school, especially when people are messing with him and stuff like that. So what are some things that I can do, like some key points that I can do to help them with their day? Because I get mad too, I be tired and I end up yelling sometime and I know that's not good.
It's not good, but the most thing I would say is, like, most people, like, my friends, I don't know why, but they don't like for their kids to be in, they call it SPED, special ed. But I really think that's a great way because at my job, we do have where they're in out classes, like they go out to different classes, but they come back to that one class. And when they come back to that one class, what we do, we give them a journal. In the morning time, write something that's bothering you or something you feel like you can't handle, and then we'll tell them to put their journals away. But what our job is to read those journals. Sometimes I do have to Google different ways to work with him, but it's basically just being there, like support-wise. sometimes it's probably not good coming from you. A lot of people recommend, counseling, but I'm here, so if you need me, like, to talk or any strategies or fidgets, that's good for their age. Fidgets, stress balls, and with him not being able to handle his, like, when people are bothering him, get him a stress ball. I use it myself because I'm not gonna tell a story. When I was in school, I was a fighter. Like, any little word hurted me. So words did hurt me. So now I get a stress ball or I squeeze something. I breathe strategies and everything. Behavior wise, it has to fall into something. I don't recommend medicine because it makes them zombies. I do not like that. I don't recommend it. It's, and the kids in my class, none of them are on medicine, but we get them through their problems. Half of the time it's just somebody that he needs to talk to that relates to him. Or half of the time your parents say, I'm grown and I'm the mama, but half of the time that's not what they need to hear. They really just need somebody to hear their side and how to deal with it. More so, he could probably watch videos on bullying. We did have a problem with bullying. I set the bully down and I let them watch the video and they're like, why they doing it like that? But it's kind of the same thing that you're doing to another person. So basically, videos like YouTube. I have a lot of YouTube things that I can send you, like going over bullying, going over like depressing, or just basically letting it out or letting people speak to you, or being open to certain people. And then it's a video where it teaches you how you know somebody is willing to talk to you, or how you go about opening up to people to see if they're willing to listen to your stories. Yeah, I got a lot.
Anybody got any more questions?
Thank
Let's
you.
get it up. Well, we are pressed on right now on time, so I'm going to let my baby do her presentation. All the kids will be doing their presentation tomorrow in class. So it gives y'all time to strategize how you want to do your presentation. The only thing is, you're going to have to leave your board here.
That's fine. Yeah, leave your
You're going to
board
have to
here.
leave your board here. Okay? Y'all are having tomorrow. Sunday school.
Sunday school.
They'll be here for Sunday school.
8:30.
8:30 to 10.
Sunday school starts at 8:30
8:30 to 10.
a.m.
All right. Y'all give it up for Miss V.
Alright, I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible. I started at Lamar University, which is where I met my fiance. I got my bachelor's in science. While I was going to school, like him, I had worked 2 jobs at one point. But I got most of my experience working at HEB, which is a grocery store that they just put out here. My work ethic really helped me meet the people I needed to meet to get to where I am today. There, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do after I graduated college with my bachelor's in science. I ran into a pharmacist who needed help in the pharmacy, and she was like, I see that you are a manager, you work bookkeeping, you do all these different roles at HEB, come try to work in the pharmacy. So she trained me on the job, and I became a pharmacy technician without going to school for that. I also ended up getting my medical billing and coding license. I'm really into fitness, which is what I went to school for, so I got my exercise physiologist license. Last year, I was doing private fitness classes, so I really liked that. But when I came to Dallas, I told myself I was going to work at a hospital because I really wanted to work in the medical field. So I ended up getting on at Parkland. I started being an IV technician since I already had experience working in retail as a pharmacy tech. So I was the person who made your IV bags. If you got sick and you needed fluids and you couldn't take tablets, they would inject you, and that's how the medicine got into you. From there, I met some people and it was like, hey, come join the MAT team, which is, it turned into medication transition of care. So I deal with people who have cancer, long story short. I'm on the oncology team, and I basically help these people who can't afford their medicine. If they don't have insurance or the insurance isn't paid for it, I help you get onto programs to cover the cost of your infusions, because usually if you have cancer, you're getting infused a couple of times out the month. So the cost of these medicines usually run $20,000 per injection. So that's every time you come to the hospital, you spend $20,000. And most people cannot afford that. I can't afford $20,000 every month to go to the hospital. So I meet with these people. I figure out how much money they make a month. I talk to their doctors, physician's assistants, nurses, pharmacists, and we all come together to figure out what's the best program to get their medicine covered. And that's pretty much it. From there, I'm trying to grow into a bigger role into Parkland as far as maybe being an executive assistant or just running my own department. And that's my end goal. And I'm connecting with people right now that work in the hospital, work in the positions I want to be in, because even though I have a degree, that's not going to take me as far as I need to go. You got to build connections, you got to build a team, because that's how you're going to get where you need to be. And that's it.
Any questions?
Any questions?
How long did it take you to get employed at Parkland? Did they have like had to do the steps?
No, I think I was out in Dallas for like 6 months to a year. I was working at another retail store, and then they called me and I just got on like literally after that first interview. The next week I was working there. I was really trying to get on at UT. That's why I waited so long, because I wanted UT to hire me. And I had like 3 or 4 interviews at UT. For some reason, I wasn't fitting the description, but I went to Parkland, and now UT keep calling me like, hey, you want to come over here? So it worked out.
So why don't you join this job?
I don't want to work outside. He do a lot of heavy lifting. That's not for me. I'd rather be behind on the computer, talking on the phone. I don't want to be outside.
So you're not going to get fired if you don't?
No, I have an office.
So if they have you in your office on the office?
No.
Okay. Joy, what's your question?
How old were you when you met
We
I was 20. I was 20.
leave personal questions out. We just talking about job questions, okay?
So, when are they going to finish the construction of Parkland?
Probably never, because they're always trying to build onto the building to make healthcare more accessible to everybody. So they always gonna have construction. I think right now they're actually making a park in front of the Moody Clinic, which is actually where I'm located. They're building a park for like kids when their parents come and they have to have treatment, they can go outside to the park.
I can come meet you.
Sure. I'll pencil you in. That's it.
No,
Any more questions?
I have to come make me work.
No?